We're talking no-till now with Jason Warren, our Soil and Water Conservation Extension Specialist. And Jason, this time of year, what kind of advice do you have for no-till producers?
Well, most everything's just sitting here on the wheat and growing, and we're fixing to start putting fertilizer out and then those kind of things. But specific to no-till, one thing that comes to mind is assessing soil compaction. From now on through the spring, we'll generally have pretty good soil moisture, particularly on any ground that was fallowed to go to summer crops, and then this wheat ground's got pretty good moisture in it as well, in a lot of locations across the state. And what that means is that we can dig a hole or push a probe in the ground and not have to worry about that assessment being influenced by dry soil conditions. When the soil is dry, it's hard, and that's just the way it is. So you push a rod in the ground or a soil probe and it doesn't go in the ground. We need moist soil conditions to use those rods. If we can push it through the ground, then we know we don't have a compaction problem. But if we do hit a restrictive layer where that rod stops, we need to dig a hole, make sure that it's not simply a dry layer, and then go on from there. If it's actually a moist layer that's restricting that rod, then we can look towards alleviating that problem with deep tillage or the utilization of cover crops to break up that restrictive layer. And so it's a better time in the spring when we're wet than to wait until the summertime when things start to dry out.
So it gives you a better picture then.
Yep.
You're also working on a project involving on-farm demonstrations. Mm-hmm. Talk about that and how producers can get involved if they want to.
Yep. This past fall we received a Conservation Innovation Grant from the NRCS, and what it's aimed at doing is providing, it provides funds for us to go out and do on-farm demonstrations. And the title of the program is Locally Led On-Farm Demonstration of Soil Health Promoting Practices, which is kind of a mouthful. What it means is that we'd like producers to think about what kind of practices, whether it's no-till versus conventional or different crop rotations that they believe would make their no-till operations more successful, or the utilization of cover crops, and talk to their county educator or their conservation district or their NRCS office about this potential for doing a demonstration. And then once we get those local groups together, we can design a demonstration for that region or for that county that would be locally relevant. A lot of times we do demonstrations and they may not be exactly what the producers in that area want. They may serve the broader spectrum of the state, but not serve the specific needs of a specific locality. So we've got these funds to try to do that, but we need ideas and local input into the program. So that's kind of what we're doing on the no-till. And then in the eastern half of the state, because a lot of pasture lands are more prevalent in the eastern half of the state, we're looking at different options for pasture soil management, starting off with just basic soil fertility and then moving into some overseeding of legumes and things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity, and the sky's the limit as far as the ideas, but they need to be practices that the local producers and county educator and conservationists believe will work in those localities.
It sounds like a great opportunity to share ideas both ways.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
How do people get involved?
The easiest way would be to contact their county educator. This is a partnership with OSU Extension, the conservation districts, and the NRCS. And so any of those organizations, you can go in and visit with them about this project, but you certainly go and talk to your county educators. All of them have been brought up to speed in general about the program.
And you and the team are also organizing the No-Till Conference. Tell us what you'll be covering this year.
The No-Till Conference is on the 3rd and 4th of March, and it'll be down at Norman at the National Employees Training Center. And at that conference, we'll cover a fairly wide array of no-till topics, including cover crops. We'll have some talks about grazing management on cover crops and utilizing those crops for forage. We'll have some talks about equipment, some herbicide management discussions, just a fairly well-rounded discussion of no-till issues in the Southern Plains.
Okay, sounds like a great workshop. Jason Warren, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
The 2015 No-Till Oklahoma Conference is March 3rd and 4th in Norman. You can find out more and register online by clicking on show links on the SUNUP website.